It is time for Coffee with Kristin and Tina. Good morning and welcome to Coffee with Kristin and Tina. We're your hosts this morning. This is Kristin Odell of KLO HR and Leadership Consulting. I'm Tina Prigge with Vagabond Creative Studio. So happy to see you. Kristin, we were just talking about like the sun and trying to get our views right. I definitely don't want to close the shades all the way because I love this late summer that we're having.
I know it has been so beautiful out. I feel so thankful. I wish like the kids didn't have school so we could go to the beach.
Right. Yeah,
So,
it'd be a perfect beach day.
right? So hopefully this weekend, if the weather works, we can at least get some toes in the sand.
Yeah. Yeah, I have no idea what the weather prediction is or how long this is gonna last, but I'm loving it.
We have to enjoy every minute.
Yeah, we sure do. So how's everything going today?
It's going good. I'm slow starting today. I was super blessed to be out in Minnesota. I drove out on Monday and I came back yesterday. I got to go out and co-teach with somebody that I went through certification with for strengths like 3 or 4 years ago. And so I taught yesterday morning and then I got to drive all the way back. It was a 7 hour drive back. So I got back home late last night. So just feel like there's not enough coffee today.
Were you in the Twin Cities or a different part of Minnesota?
Central Minnesota. For those of you who might know that area or know, it's called Brainerd, Minnesota, and there's beautiful little lakes all around. This is definitely what appears to be a vacation spot. There's lots of little resorts there and golf courses and stuff. But I sent you a picture this morning. I don't know if you had a chance to upload it, download it, show load it.
Oh,
But
I got the picture of You Matter, but that's it.
that's okay. I woke up yesterday morning. Doug texted me, first of all. There were some beautiful sunrises on the lakeshore yesterday. And so Doug texted me yesterday morning saying, man, the sunrise is amazing. It looks like the field is, on fire this morning. And I was just waking up and my view is out over the lake yesterday morning. And the sun was starting to peak up and the sky was just lighting up. It was just really, really pretty. So even though I wasn't on Lake Michigan yesterday morning, I got to wake up to another beautiful lake. So it was great.
Yeah, so Minnesota, what is the land of 10,000 lakes? So it must have been one of their inland
One of the
lakes, kind of like
10,000, I'm assuming. Yeah.
number 9,998.
I don't know, but
Beautiful.
yeah, it was really nice, and I got to meet with some amazing people yesterday. So people are typically familiar with the name Cintas. They provide uniforms and towels and rugs and things like that for companies, and they had their it's called the Northern Plains region, which is the northern Midwest. They had their leadership team out to go through strengths, and I got to do Legos and a couple of other things with them yesterday. So um,
Cool.
it was really
Now, let me ask you this. As momtrepreneurs, right, we are always trying to maximize every moment of the day. So when you have a long commute like that, like 7 hours in the car, what are you doing with your time? Are you taking some time just to yourself to de-stress? Are you like listening to books on tape or something motivational? How do you spend your time? Are you
uh,
jamming out?
so the way out there, I listened to the radio the entire way and just like let my thoughts play out in the car, which is pretty typical for me. Like even around town, sometimes I don't even listen to the radio. I just am in my head and processing on stuff. It's kind of a meditative thing I like to do in the car. But then yesterday on the way back, I got to catch up with a couple of friends on the phone. I had did some phone calls. Doug checked in with me a couple of times. And then we missed church on Sunday because Doug's dad was in town with Doug's high school football coach. We call him Mr. Billy. We went to the Packer game Sunday night. And so we missed church Sunday morning. And so I listened to the church service coming back. Again, one of the benefits, like post COVID, they're available online. So, but other than
So
that,
did you have so much fun at the game?
it was amazing. First of all, it was such an awesome game, like just amazing. And we were looking back. I think this was the fifth year that we've done this with his dad and Bill. And we tailgated on like it would be the northwest side of the stadium, very close to Kroll's this time because they had not been up since Titletown was built. And so we tailgated and grilled out on that side and then walked through Titletown. There was music and people and all kinds of stuff there. So they got to see that. And then we headed in the stadium, and there's no place like it on earth. There's a reason why people say that Lambeau Field's like the best experience in the NFL, and it was awesome.
Especially on a day with such beautiful weather, how enjoyable to see a game where you can just go in your short sleeves, that you don't have to wear, like, 6 layers of winter gear.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's a part of me that I enjoy that. Like, I love when you're at Lambeau and you're all bundled up and it's snowing. Like, there's something really cool about that also. But yeah, I had a tank top on at the game, and it was just so much fun. We did get rain, just a real little bit. We were fortunate where our seats were, there was a little bit of an overhang, so we were kind of protected while it was raining. But it
Mm.
was so much. So it's been a whirlwind of a couple of days. We didn't get home to the Packer game on Sunday night until midnight. So we did that, and then I saw the guys off on their travel home Monday morning and took the kids to school, and then I left and drove out to Minnesota on Monday. So it's just been a crazy couple of
I
days. Like Doug said to me this morning, I mentioned this, like, "Is it Wednesday today?"
Yeah, I had to triple check that myself,
Right.
because so not only did the Packers win a very exciting game, but our family had a little win that was announced at that game
Yeah.
too. So my brother and my sister-in-law were at the game. Okay, guys, can you guess what the little win is? What we're so excited about?
Aw, I
Yeah,
love it. Tina, you're gonna be an auntie.
I am. I have 3 nephews, and now I'm gonna have a little niece.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
so
a little cheese
fun.
curd.
They look dressed very fancy for being
They they were, like, going out on the town. This is actually the day before the Packer game, so they
was it?
went to the Packer game, but the night before they went out to a nice dinner, and they did these little pictures to announce the little cheese curd, so
Oh, I love it. That's so exciting. I'm so happy for
yeah.
your family. How cool.
Thank you, I'm super excited. And this is my little brother, and so he's 10 years behind me, so
Yes. What does Teak think about having another cousin?
oh, I think he's excited. It's gonna be interesting because 'cause he'll be an adult when the baby arrives,
Right.
and my brother Tyler was that same way when Teek arrived and was just a
Okay.
really good influence in his life, so I think he's kind
Yeah.
of looking forward to playing that. He said he's gonna feel more like an uncle than a cousin.
Yeah, I love that. That's so exciting. Congratulations to them and your family. Like, that's awesome.
Thanks. Yeah, I know, I love it, I can't wait. A
I
little
saw
baby.
I know. I saw that little onesie in the pro shop. We walked down to the pro shop before the game, and I saw that little onesie there, and they're so cute. Like, the stuff they come up with is so cute. So, what a fun way for them to make that announcement.
Yeah, so if you see me buying baby clothes, it is for them, okay?
Yeah, let's start a local rumor, Tina.
No.
Oh, that is
No.
too funny. Very good.
Hey, did you see the new mural that they just finished over Sputnik Fest weekend? I am so in love with this beautiful mural.
Yes, yeah, the weekend of Sputnik Fest, they had like a color by number you could go participate. So if you guys are wondering, like, how did this one happen? That's how this happened. True community mural. And it looks like I don't know if are they stopping there? Or are they going to finish the whole wall? Do you know?
I think it's done because
Okay.
there's already plaques up about who the artists were, and
Okay.
so I think that's just kind of a design element.
Okay. But yeah, it's so beautiful. And here's one of the other things that's so fun. So now that you can drive south on 8th Street, like we've talked about this. It's a beautiful view driving down into downtown. If you haven't done
Right.
it yet, do it. Start on Waldo Boulevard, drive on 8th Street the other way. But you get a perfect view of this.
And I love it that there's a Mr. Rogers, and I realized my entire life, there's never been a Mr. Rogers reference here in town.
Yep. I love it. I think it's great. I love the love and the kindness that Mr. Rogers portrays. Like, what a cool thing to have in our community, and especially
Yeah.
downtown, where so much like important work happens with nonprofits and churches and different things like that. So
Yeah,
cool.
and I'm such a big fan of all of the art that's going up, and the fact that each piece is really unique and different. It's not like repetitive. This
Yes.
is totally different than the Ruth West mural, which is totally
Yes.
different than like the Manitowoc postcard mural, totally different from the Unity mural across from the wharf. It's so
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah. And it makes our community colorful and interesting to look at. And yeah, I love it. I love that we have it all over town. Also, you know, you think about Red Arrow, you think about Lincoln Park, like we have it in a lot of different spots. I think we're really lucky for that. So
Yeah,
yeah.
Jason and I were cruising around on our motorcycles the other night because the weather was so nice, and we took CR as far south as it would go. We didn't really know where it went, and it ends up in Newton. And it turns out right there on Newton Meets, there's a whole 4-panel mural that was
Yeah.
quite beautiful. I was like, how did I never see this before?
Yeah. Speaking of places you should go if you haven't been around the county, highly recommend Newton Meats. So good.
Is there like a shop there?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, wait, tell us more, Kristen.
So I think they're only open Monday through Friday now. That's a post-COVID thing. They used to be open on Saturday mornings. But yes, it's a legit meat market. You can go in and buy fresh, all different types of fresh meats. They have things frozen. You can get chicken eggs and all kinds of stuff that's local. It's all local stuff. And then they carry like Johnson's Bakery. You can get buns and bread there. They carry Winkies, which is from Door County. You can get Winkies, pickles, and sauerkraut, and all kinds of canned things there. And they have Door County coffee there. You can pick up, like, it's a good spot, and it smells smoky and delicious in there.
How did I never know this? See, this is like one of those secrets, right? That we need to keep talking. People in the community, you have to talk and share when you know these awesome things because
Yeah.
otherwise they go unknown.
We never have talked about this. Yeah, some of our favorites. So, I mean, Newton bacon is pretty epic. If you haven't had Newton bacon, like pretty thick slice, just really good. We also are just huge fans of the brat patties. So,
Mm.
just a couple of things, but you can get tons of stuff. They have the old style, like bolognas, like ring bologna, and some of those things. I grew up on ring bologna. I know people who'd be like, I'd never eat ring bologna, but
But
we do.
sorry.
We are a ring bologna mac and cheese family through and through. Um, you can get like the regular bologna, like big thick bologna. Like one time, Doug bought a whole. I'm gonna say log. I know that sounds bad, but like a whole thing of their homemade bologna, and then he like sliced it and did stuff to it and smoked it, and then we sliced it thick slice, like kind of like a ham steak. I don't. It was amazing.
So are they processing the meats, making the sausages and stuff right there?
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. And a lot of local, like Sundown Farms, we've talked about on the show. Sundown has all their processing done. So, as an example, if you buy a half hog or you buy a steer or something from Sundown Farms, Newton Meats is the processor. We've had deer processed at Newton Meats as well to get venison sausage and breakfast links and that kind of stuff processed with deer meat. So they're local.
Okay, so good to know. So good to know.
Go check
See,
it
all
out.
right, folks, if you're watching, let us know in the comments. Are there other places like this? Are there like secret gems? And maybe you don't feel like they're a secret, but I don't know about them, or maybe Kristen doesn't know about them, maybe the viewers don't know about them. Let's talk about some of these awesome local places.
Yeah, and there's a lot of them out in the country. I've got another one I've got to think about, and we can touch on it on the show next week. But there is these great little, like you said, these little gems tucked out in the middle of nowhere that are really good.
Hey, speaking of gems, Jason put on a movie the other night. It was a Nick Cage movie. And Nick Cage can be awesome or he can be a little too much, right? Like there's like this whole spectrum of Nick Cage. Anyway, I was totally hooked by the title. It was called The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. It ended up being an awesome movie. It is now one of my favorites.
Really? So first of all, the fact that you address him as Nick Cage makes me laugh. Like you guys are on a first name basis with him.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I've not ever seen that or heard of that. Do you know how he found it?
I feel like it's relatively new. It feels like it's Nick Cage kind of in real time, like at this age.
Yeah.
So I think it's a new release.
Okay.
Um, and it's so interesting because Nicolas Cage literally plays himself. So he plays himself, but he's kind of this like pill of an actor, right? Who thinks he's great, and he's got this like alter ego of himself that keeps showing up, and he's like, "Don't take that role. You're a movie star. Make sure you let them know you're a movie star." And so he's like always in his own head, but literally he's addressed. He's Nicolas Cage, and
Yeah.
it's just such an interesting story. And it has the same actor as The Mandalorian. So
Okay.
Pedro Pascal, that plays the Mandalorian, is like the co-lead with him. It's just delightful.
Is it? I do, now that you're talking about the kind of the plot line of it, I do remember that being advertised somewhere. Where did you guys watch it? What platform did you watch it on?
He rented it, so I don't know if it was on mm, Amazon or
Like
it was on
Apple,
yeah, it could have been Apple TV.
one of the things.
Yeah, I'm not sure where he found it. I can get back to you on that.
Yeah.
But it was worth watching, and our teen, right at first, we're like, "Hey, let's watch this family movie," and he's like, "Nah," and he's, like, playing on his phone, and then we, like, just I don't know, 20 minutes in, we paused it to do something. He's like, "Hey, why are you pausing the movie? Keep it going." So, he was hooked too.
He got into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I think about Nicolas Cage, I think, so the girls love National Treasure, and he's in that, and that has just kind of become a family favorite ours. And then, I don't know why I'm blanking on the name of this movie, but the airplane movie where he's the prisoner. Um, Aaron Rodgers just emulated him in his costuming. He's in the white tank top with the long hair. Come on, help me out.
Yeah, what is that? I
The
I don't
cover
know.
song was like, "How do I live without you?"
Sing it. Wait, here's the microphone. Keep going.
I don't know the rest of the words.
Aw.
Yeah, it was. I think it was a Leanne Rimes song. Was like the song, the love song in the movie. Come on, why
So
can't I think of it? I'll think of it. It'll come.
do you have any movie recommendations? Anything good that you guys have seen lately?
Like, we don't have time to watch movies. That's how I feel. Um, a couple of weeks ago, Nora had tonsil adenoid surgery, and so I watched a lot of Disney movies with her. Like, we hit some of the old ones like Lilo and Stitch, and we watched Parent Trap, and
Oh,
just kind of some of the like good old originals. The kids watched Cheaper by the Dozen one of the days. Um, but yeah, we really haven't gotten into it. If we have like a moment in time, it tends to be Friday nights, and I just am a big fan of Dateline.
as a mom, I love the fact that I got to revisit a lot of classic movies, classic kids movies,
Yeah,
with the child as they're coming up. Like I've watched Chitty Chitty Bang Bang so many times now, and The Princess Bride, and like I just love all of those films.
yeah, yeah. Princess Bride's another. We're big fans of Princess Bride. The girls can quote it, and nothing makes my heart happier than for them to be able to quote something like Princess Bride. And yeah, we've kind of intentionally we watch like the Mighty Ducks and the Sandlot. We've gone back and tried to pull some of them out because they're like it's good old family fun. They're funny, they're interesting. They keep the girls' attention, and content wise, I feel like it tends to be a little bit better than maybe some of what's coming out now. So it's fun.
Have you guys ever watched Night at the Museum with Ben
Yeah,
Stiller?
those are good. Also, the girls love those. Also,
Yeah,
yes.
we love those too. Awesome. Somebody asked, they didn't just post it now, but before we went live, he had sent me a message and said, "Have you guys ever watched Spirited Away?" Apparently, it's the 20th anniversary of its release.
I don't. I haven't. What's it
Oh,
about?
okay.
Have you watched it?
So it's a Japanese anime. I think it's a Ghibli studio film, and yeah, it's just a beautiful story.
That's cool. Okay, we'll have
Got some
to
interesting characters.
you have to put that in the comments so that if people want to watch it, they can put it in. And then tell us what movies you're watching. You see, come fall, we watch a lot of football. So that's the other thing that like takes up our time. We watch college football and stuff on Saturdays if we have time, and obviously Sundays NFL. And so
Yeah, it had been quite a while since I'd watched a movie, and I get kind of picky, right? Like if it, yeah, like I used to when I was younger. If I started a movie, I wanted to know how it ended. If I started a book, I wanted now. If it's not awesome, if it doesn't like totally resonate with me, if I'm not like in with it, I'm like done, checking out, tapping
yeah,
out.
I have a hard time turning something off midway. Like I feel like I like now I have to see how it ends, or even a show. Like Doug's very good at like, ugh, I'm going to bed. Not me. I'm like, nope, I gotta watch it till the end. I've got to see what happens. Actually, I totally got last weekend I watched Dateline Friday night, 2-hour show. It's like the season kickoff of Dateline, and it had no ending. The court is in trial. I was like, this was a horrible episode of Dateline. There's no ending. I watched this for 2 hours with no ending. What? I was so mad.
Oh no. Hey, Kristen, I know that you've got a card in hand. I also have a picture of it. Want to talk a little bit about this?
Yeah. So I just wanted to mention, so this past weekend, Prevent Suicide had their 11th annual walk run for suicide awareness and prevention. And so I just want to say congratulations. I know Donna Furman's involved with that group, and I'm sure there's many other people that helped pull that event off. And alongside of that, my friend Heather over at Balance in Buffalo, her nephew Hunter unexpectedly committed suicide about a year ago. And so she just felt called to action. And so she started creating these stickers. And I've had them in the past, and there was a 1-800 number helpline on those. But since she started doing this, this national number came out. So you know how you dial 911 for emergency help? You can dial 988, and that's like a mental health crisis line. And you can call yourself if you are feeling vulnerable, and you can be a family member and call on their behalf to get help. And there's somebody that answers the phone when you call that. So I just wanted to bring attention to this because, first of all, 988 is a national number that just came out for mental health support, which I think is amazing. But Heather, right here in our local community, is doing this. And the other really cool thing is I have a whole envelope of these. So if you are okay with it, I might drop some off at your office. If people want to message me to get one, I will mail it to you. You can also reach out to Heather from Balance. She obviously is getting them printed, but she donated, I think it was like 100 of these or more for Prevent Suicide, and they got to go in the gift bags there. I think it's really cool. Like, what a great way to champion that cause and to honor her nephew.
Yeah. And just to raise awareness that there are resources, right? If
Yes.
you have any doubt, if you have any question, if something is just weighing so heavily on your mind, you matter, right? And just remember that number 988. Anywhere in the nation, you can call it. There is no charge to call it,
No.
and there is somebody there to, help you figure out what is on your mind.
Absolutely. The other thing I would mention, we are very fortunate to have Painting Pathways Clubhouse in our community, which Painting Pathways is a nonprofit, and they have a clubhouse for individuals who have been diagnosed with mental health disorders. And you can drop in there, you can have lunch, you can go and play games, do art, all kinds of stuff. But they have a ton of resources available, social support. It's the coolest place. If you've never been there before, you can stop and visit. But I also want to mention that because, again, there's no reason to be ashamed of it. It's a beautiful resource. And they have hours primarily during the day, but they do some evenings and some Saturdays just for people like professionals who aren't able to go during the week. It's just really cool. And I think I should look this up to be sure, but I'm pretty sure we're one of 3 clubhouses in the state of Wisconsin, and we get
Oh,
to have it
wow.
here in Manitowoc. So,
Yeah, there
yes.
are so many resources. One of the reasons we're talking about this is because, like Kristen just said, you matter, and we don't want this to be a secret, right? We
Right.
share this information far and wide.
Yes, and we have incredible resources in our community, and so, like, anytime I can bring awareness and help connect people with something, for them to feel supported, encouraged, validated, like, why wouldn't we do that?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, you shared a couple of weeks ago, and we just didn't get a chance to talk about it. This adorable, adorable picture. Can you tell
Oh,
us a little bit more about this happy moment?
I can. So Doug and I were married 14 years this year on August 31st.
Happy anniversary.
It's been almost a month. I would say happily married also. Like, we love
Ah,
marriage, we love the commitment. Like, we're marriage champions. How about that? Like, so our anniversary, I was teaching, Doug was working. It was kind of a crazy day. And my mom had the girls because I was out of town teaching. And they made and planned an entire dinner for us and set up our table outside and they candles. They collected all the pictures of us from around our house. Like, the picture that's in this picture is from our engagement pictures for our wedding. So they had all of this set up, and we were served private dinner and dessert on our patio, and the kids and my mom and dad stayed inside, like, with the curtains drawn so that it was
What did they think was happening? No.
it was just really, really cute and really, really sweet because it was a busy day. So, um, it was just like an awesome surprise to come home and see that, and
And
so
it's so special and special that, while they let you 2 together to enjoy it alone, they were such an important part of it. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And so they're always gonna have that memory. They're gonna know that celebrating an anniversary is special and meaningful, and, that's
right.
just beautiful.
Yeah, and Grace, like, made a cake all by herself. Josie was our waitress. My mom was obviously the chef behind the scenes, and, each of the girls had made a card, and it just was really, really cool. It was very meaningful, so
I love it. Well, here's to many, many more. I hope you guys, like, quadruple that number
I
at
we
a
plan it.
minimum.
We were talking the other night about, like, can we go another 40 years? Like, okay, I'll be 81 in 40 years. And then we're like, yeah, that's totally doable. And then we would be married over 50 years. Like, that's exciting.
That is exciting. Ah, let's see. 50 years. I'll be old. I don't
Like I said, I hope we make it another 40 years. He's like, why are you saying that? And I was like, well, hopefully we're not dead. But yeah.
my great aunt just passed away. She was 86. She had a wonderful life. And the reason I'm saying it is, first of all, she was awesome and I loved her and I'm gonna miss her. But she was at her card club. She was in the middle of a sheep's head game. And that's it. That's how it ended. Like, I
Seriously.
said I said to my cousins, "I totally admire her. She was absolutely doing what she loved and just left without like."
Yeah. That is incredible. Like, I'm on the happiest place I want to be.
Yeah, I'm thinking she must have had an awesome hand, maybe all 4 queens or something, but
Oh man, I hope they like sent those cards with her.
unless it was a bad hand and that's what caused it, but come
Yeah,
on.
that's true. I know that's a little like Egyptian inspired, but man, what an awesome way to go.
Yeah, when you think about all the different ways where people, like, suffer and it drags on and all of that, right? Like, to just be feeling in your prime, feeling great, have a
Yep.
good hand later.
Goodbye. I love
Yeah,
it. Good for her. What a blessing
yeah,
for her to live out her best life.
absolutely. So, I hope that you're living your best life. Viewers, I hope you're living your best life. Thanks so much for hanging out with us this morning. We totally enjoyed it. And you've been watching Coffee with Kristen and Tina. Kristin Odell, Tina Prigge. We'll see you next time on Coffee with Kristen and Tina.
Live your best life.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.